I would invite our next speaker, Paulo Dias. Paulo is a professor at the Catolica University of Portugal, where he teaches in psychology courses and in the College of Educational Sciences of Figueres. His research interests focus on teacher-student interaction, on school achievement, and on self-regulation. He has participated previously in other European and international research projects, like the project Factors that promotes school achievement, and a project called European Network on Exchange of Early Detection of Drug Consumption. And he's going to give us his view on plagiarism in Portugal, state of the art and trends. Paulo.
Thank you very much. Well, in next minutes, probably not too much, I'll try to share with you some research I've been doing, especially based on literature. I have no empirical data from our country. However, there are some few articles that we can use to have a first drawing, first photography of what is the plagiarism in Portugal and who do cheats. Okay, let's see who are the bad guys or bad girls. So I'll bring you just some ideas. Don't look at this as a very strict or formal presentation. Just some ideas for us to think how this is a difficult concept to investigate, to understand, and how probably we are a little far from what students think plagiarism is. Okay, I don't know if I'll bring light or more confusion to our audience, but the idea is really to bring confusion, for then we might create some light. We'll see. So I'll start from an overview, some results from the literature in general. Well, then some projects mainly in Portugal. We'll speak a bit later. Some organizations that recently were created to manage fraud and cheating in our culture, and based on that, some trends for new investigations that we'll try to promote. One of the first research or first found I bring you is one report about e-generation that Hilaria speaks at the moment. It's a Portuguese report that says something like the use of media by children and youth in Portugal. Okay, it's a paper from 2007 and has a lot of chapters, each of one with specific topics. I brought you some interesting ideas. First of all, the use of internet is largely widespread among young people. We know that almost every student, well, in Portugal, since the first grade of the primary school, students are able to get what we call the Magalhães. It's a portable computer, a netbook, that almost students from the primary school, the first until the fourth year, have the access at cheap prices, and many of them completely free. Okay, the bigger amounts families pay are 50 euros, 50. So the computer is a widespread instrument we expect to promote learning, despite, well, we won't talk too much about it. We know that individuals between 10 to 15 years use the computer by 96% and 91% for internet. I must say that we are talking about a report from 2007. Probably at this point the results are higher, okay, because the rate of students with internet and netbooks is very, very high. For adolescents and youth, the internet allows contacts with different cultures and contents. We know that the main focus is social networking. We know who works in schools know exactly that, but we also know that it's a great tool to access to content very easily, and in a range of areas and domains very widespread. Another interesting point of view, but with another focus, is the contribution of Lage. He's an associate professor in Portugal, if I remember, in Lisbon. And it tries to explore why we assist now to such of emphasis on plagiarism, why plagiarism is so much in our cultural and social network. And he points out 4 principles. First of all, the pressures to publish for recognition. We know, and who is connected to universities know, that at least we have to publish 1 scientific paper per year, okay, at least 1. And it's quite, well, doesn't look much, but who nowadays do research and empirical research know that it is not very easy. One other aspect is the lack of time and scholarships. The time is quite well known. We are always running, and scholarships. We know that much individuals are trying to explore fields that they aren't very aware. We have always new challenges. We are always running until the next stage, and sometimes the fastest answer is the one that already exists. Well, we also know that rapid career promotion, but also the fear of risk to public and social humiliation. This is what Ilaria was talking about, and is connected by the other points, the low capacity and self-esteem. In fact, we know that self-esteem is a protector of motivation, self-efficacy, and results. So students with lower self-esteem, by principle, theoretically, are less able to challenge the new roles, new objectives, and so try to use another coping skills that allows them to present something with a positive result at the minimum. Okay. We know also, since 92, this is a study from the United States, that it's increasing the importance that socially and academically we give to plagiarism. For example, in Portugal, we almost didn't talk about plagiarism until about 2 years ago. One teacher of the Porto University has been discovered to be cheated in his PhD thesis, and so it was a scandal. Well, the professor was fired. Well, never will work again in public function, and it raises again this topic. Okay, we know also, well, even 1 month, 2 months ago, one weekly magazine reported, well, published news about the plagiarism. So we know that this recent topic is gaining social attention, but there is, well, there's a mistake. 70% of students do not see copying as a serious problem, and we know there is a lack of empirical evaluation. This is, we know that socially there is a quite of worry about this topic, but in the field, not only we don't have a consensus about what is really plagiarism between academics, but also and essentially by students, as we don't have enough empirical research about it. I brought you one research from, this is from Australia. These authors tried to understand which were the best predictors of plagiarism, and they pointed out especially three. The first one is sex. Well, in this study they pointed out the male students as the cheaters. Okay, there is well, the literature points out that males are the bad guys. Okay, but there are also another ones, very other ones studies, but lesser than this, that show that girls also cheat more in exams, not so much in works that includes revision. They pointed out also two transversal skills, transversal needs that are considered as significantly statistical predictors, that are learning orientation and self-efficacy. We know that learning orientation based on well, I'm missing the word. No. We have goals from mastery and goals from class grades. How do you say? Achievement. Oh, achievement grades. Okay. Yeah, achievement grades. That's the word. Motivation theories points out two bigger orientations. Some kind of students are oriented to mastery. This is, I learn, I go to school because I want to learn more. Okay, I value learning, so I involve in more effort, I dedicate more time, and so I'll try to be better. But other kind of students just want to be better than the other one. Okay, socially I want to be the better grades, have the better achievement that the girls or other boys or whatever. And students who are more related to achievement orientations tend to behave more well, cheating or plagiarism. Okay. Also the question of self-efficacy. We know that students with low self-efficacy see a challenge as even more challenger, okay, because they feel they don't have the enough resources. So that is also a big predictor of this kind of coping strategy. Well, it's also, we have to see it, well, I will say it between lots of commas, but cheating is a positive coping skill because they have a problem and that is the resource they use to solve the problem. The problem is that they don't know that it's still being a problem, okay, because they have lack of self-esteem, and so that kind of resource that not only will distract them from learning activities, but also in other areas of their living. Some other projects. I'll bring you two results of two projects that were developed in Portugal from a colleague from Oporto in University of Business and Economics, university students. One of them is 2010 and the other one is from September 2011. Okay, very recent research. This first one, they used a web-based questionnaire to ask for higher education students from those areas about their behaviors and some aspects that would promote or make them as cheaters. And she found the following results. First of all, students cheat because they expect to have some benefits with that behavior. This is, they really believe that cheating will give us some benefits, some positive benefits. Okay, and that's why they cheat. They cheat mostly when they are in a coping favorable environment. This is when they feel that in his classroom there are other students who cheats and teacher doesn't punishes him or her. And when we see socially related factor, this is when in the group students get a sense that it is possible to cheat without being punished. But also this socially related factor might be inferred by the difference in terms of regions of Portugal. It's very interesting, and I brought you a map of Portugal, not only because I like the country, but also because it is really interesting to see the difference between the percentage of students who related, who said that cheats. In pink you can find balls that represent how bigger the balls are, more are the rates of students who say that cheats. And we see that the bigger emphasis are in Oporto and Lisbon. This is, we understand that urban areas, those we think are in better conditions to offer good learning to students, are the ones who have more cheating. Okay, probably because of those factors, those socially related factors. We think, for example, the peers pressure, the family's pressure to be in the university, to have higher grades, higher rates in the tests, and so on. That study also pointed out the importance of the code of honor. Universities who had a code of honor tend to have less cheating in his class. This is well, it's very difficult to explain, because we can sign a contract and then, well, try to figure out a way to run off it. But students understand that his honor is in place, so when this instrument exists, well, we have less plagiarism in schools, in universities. The other study, very recent, used a sample of 5,400 students. It's a huge sample. 41% male, the majority from the first cycle of studies, the degree, and from economics and engineering mostly. And when we ask students what is plagiarism, they say that it is recycle and work of some discipline for another. This is the main significance from them to the word plagiarism is use the same work for two disciplines. Okay, and this happens even at some months. We have a group in our faculty that uses exactly the same work to two disciplines, exactly exactly the same. Okay, without any changing. The second most significant definition they give us is submit a paper without references. Okay, plagiarism is not quoting or citing the author. Buy a work and submit as author is only pointed out for 1.7% of students. This is, for students, it's not bad to buy a work from another person. And submit as author of another person's paper has exactly the same percentage. Okay, we are talking about university students, how they look to plagiarism. And one other interesting question was, cheating behavior would diminish if, look at this. Well, first of all, if students worked gradually and continuously. Okay, this is almost a definition of self-regulation. Self-regulation is an ability that we have to establish goals, establish a plan, and work toward it. Okay, so students understand that they do not plan, they don't implement the strategies, and they don't work continuously. So the question of the management of time and strategies is one important issue in the prevention of plagiarism. Well, if students manage better their time, teachers interested more for students learning, okay, one other strategy, and the lower rated was the pressure for higher grades were lesser. This is we see that students admit that most of the problems are in their study skills, are in their way to look to the tasks, to the challenges of the academic work, and teachers' interest in their pathway. Okay, quite interesting. They also tried to point it out the predictors, positive and negative predictors of plagiarism, and also here we see that males were the ones who plagiarism more, the atheist and Catholic, well, the associative leaders, the lower graders, but those who plagiarate less were PhD students that we know that have a very specific profile that is not very comparable with the lower graders. Okay, the example of our organization is a national observatory to combat fraud that has been promoting some training for teachers and for students in the law and teaching areas. Okay, it's one of the organizations that's been recently created. Well, and some trends just to finish it. We know, as we have been speaking, that there is some investigation mostly in the United States. In Europe we don't have much research, but we need to build up new scientific models based on transversal skills. This is, we know that information is there for everyone, but many students use and plagiarize those materials and others don't. I don't believe, well, I share with you my my initial training, and as a psychologist I believe that one of the principal predictor is the transversal skills, or is the developmental skills from students. So we need to develop research not only in secondary schools when they are training their plagiarism skills, but also and even in lower grader schools, and promote prevention or early detection by teachers. Teachers that, let me share with you, are one of the groups that plagiarize more. Okay, I'm director of many master theses, and I see some things that I won't share with you, okay, but are really interesting in terms of research. Okay, and that's my presentation. I hope I don't take too much time. If you have any question, or we'll discuss later.